Play ball!
If they don't win, it's a shame. It's 1, 2, they fight you out of the old game.
What's up, guys? Tito Round Trippers here from Abraham Drinking. Episode 20 already, Season 2, Tito Talking Tribe. First off, program notes. Follow us, Abraham Drinking, wherever you get your podcasts. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, iHeartRadio. A lot of other programs on the channel. Usually from the Lincoln Lounge. General content on Mondays at 6 p.m. The Abraham Drinking Show. How this all started. Then we got the Mental Ward with Jimmy Ward and Jimmy Ward from the Rubber Room in Ashtabula at 6 p.m. Sundays. Coffee with Trees Sunday mornings. And soon to come, the Ray Highclack Show in September. The mold standard of podcasting, I think, is the current branding motif he's going with. That'll be another funny one also, I'm sure. And shout out to our official sponsor, $2. I was just there this afternoon getting myself some buffalo chicken empanadas and having a quick round of shots before the captain's game. So, got the game you want on, good drink specials and happy hour, badass empanadas, nice stone oven. Shout out to our sponsor, $2. On to the Guardians and Tribe. A lot of shuffling throughout our organization this week. First and foremost, Bazana to AAA, I'd say would be the lead, do not bury the lead, but also Cooper Ingle to AAA, which is huge because Cody Huff was capable, but kind of like a placeholder. So now we've got ourselves fifth best prospect in our organization, a live action catching prospect in AAA. Ralphie Velasquez moves up to AA. He had been mashing in the Midwest League, and congratulations to him on his promotion. We'll miss him at East Lake, but let's hope the new talent can replace the promoted talent and keep that playoff push going in East Lake. I had to leave the captain's game a bit early. They had a nice turnout, but it was getting away from them. They were down 4-2 in the seventh, and I had a few other things to look up, and it was time to do this show. So, barring some last-minute heroics, I don't believe it was the captain's day today, but we won 8-0 yesterday, and we're right in the thick of this playoff race. Neck and neck with someone else in our division to get that second half bid in the Midwest League. So if we can secure that and be playing the Baby Tigers and defending our Midwest League title here in East Lake later on. And then, speaking of playoffs and Guardians Tribe, big league clubs, no slouch either. 22 out of our last 30 games we've won. Very impressive. We've got a Tuesday through Thursday series evening games all against the Marlins right now. Logan Allen beat Jansen Junk yesterday. I don't know if he got the win, but Logan Allen pitched well enough to win, and we're up 1-0 Marlins there as we try and keep this momentum going. We're one back in the wild card. The reeling Yankees are still the bubble team with the bullseye on their back. And like I said, as I mentioned last week, it might take 3 days, it might take 8 days, but once we pass the Yankees, let's look for us to keep playing our ball and doing what we're doing, and hopefully just a panic, front-runner-centric implosion from the Yankees. I really feel like we'll officially pass them soon, and once we do, they'll rattle off a nice losing streak, and we can put some distance between us and them. We're on a National League swing of our schedule. After this Marlins series, we have the Braves at home this weekend, and then we go to Arizona. Arizona gutted themselves pretty bad at the deadline. I saw they have a couple of landmines in their lineup. You know, auxiliary outfielders hitting like 140, just sort of promoted because they gutted themselves. They traded Josh Naylor, made a couple other lower profile moves, so never easy to go out west, but Arizona is not the formidable team that people were hoping they were before Burns got hurt and they sold off some parts. Atlanta's a talented team, but we're catching them at a decent time. They're pretty banged up and sort of going through the motions from being in the limbo of being out of their playoff race. So not quite as soft as an opening as it was after the All-Star break, where we had, like, you know, Athletics and White Sox ahead of us, but still an attainable stretch we have coming up. Like I said, we're one game behind the Yankees. As we predicted on this show, the Red Sox and Mariners, the Mariners have pretty much caught the Astros. However, that sorts out one way or another. They're both going to the playoffs. And the Red Sox are probably fortified enough with their pitching, especially if Dustin May takes as a deadline acquisition, that they'll stay a couple tiers ahead of that third wild card spot too. But I still remain very confident that we can overtake the Yankees. And more importantly, finally, after about a 2-month hiatus or so, I deem it relevant to talk about the division again. We're 5 games behind Detroit. The White Sox had a nice late blooming offensive day last night to take it to them and get us within 5 games. The White Sox flipping the Tigers, coupled with our victory, has us within 5 games of Detroit. So we're within 5 games of the Tigers. There's still a 6 weeks and some change to play in this season, and 6 games left head-to-head against the Tigers. So focus remains a wild card, but the division race has, I'm going to say, it's gone from pipe dream to gentle long shot. So that's a huge feather in our cap. And obviously things are going to reach fever pitch excitement. Let's get within a series of the Tigers. If you believe in momentum like I do, we'll be going nuts about taking them over. They'll be tightening up about blowing the lead. Like, let's get it within 3, and should be able to pass these Tigers up too, hopefully. So, you know, the wild card's looking good. The division is once again just a gentle long shot instead of a pipe dream. So, gotta love it. Manzardo's in the 20s. He and dingers. He could give us a rare non-Jose Ramirez 30 home run guy. So, even jerking him around in some goofy platoons and stuff. Shout out to Manzardo. Looks like he's going to find his way to some numbers and get it in. And like I said, no knock to Logan Allen, but he's not one of our frontline starters. So anytime Logan Allen can pitch well enough for you to win the first game of the series, and then you still have Gavin Williams and Tanner Bybee tapped in. Let's keep going for this. Obviously, we have a better record than the Marlins. We're at home. We're hot. We want a minimum of to take this series, and we would love to sweep them going into the weekend against the Braves, because even though the Braves are a few games behind the Marlins in the win-loss column, they're also a talented team that could give us trouble. So just all the more leverage for this weekend. If we can sweep the Marlins, I'm confident we can at least take this series with Bybee and Williams still left to take the hill. I know Bybee's been up and down. I've been pretty vocal about, you know, he signed that extension. I think every average Cleveland fan was elated that we locked up Bybee for such a team-friendly deal, and then he's had his scuffles this year, and suddenly the team-friendly deal looks annoyingly kind of exactly like market value, an aggressive pitching market, but hopefully Bybee steps it up. He's young. There's upside there. He's had a rougher season compared to his expectations, but confident he can level up, and we saw something in him to give him that contract. He can heat it up down the stretch, and then all's forgiven, because certainly not as if even in his darkest hour he's stealing money. It's just it went from a team-friendly contract to a surprisingly fair contract. So Tanner Bybee can rattle off a nice 3 to 5 star heater. All will be forgiven, and we could use it. So I didn't get a chance to look up John Means, but I would assume that it's smooth sailing with the John Means recovery. We held on to Quan, so we're seemingly not all the way. Front office plan was to give up, so I'd imagine we wouldn't have flipped Bieber if we didn't think that Means was progressing. So Means will foreseeably take Joey Cantillo's spot, barring a huge heater from Cantillo. More of a compliment to Logan Allen and Sassoni than a knock it is to Cantillo. It's just right now, Cantillo is clearly the bubble man. And I'd imagine John Means is now within about 3 weeks away. I doubt that'll change, but I would, yes, mark Cantillo the bubble man there. And let's just hope we can stay hot against the NL, man. Braves and Diamondbacks, none of them are the 27 Yankees, so let's keep putting a ton of pressure on the Yankees for that wild card, and a fair amount of pressure on the Tigers, as all the pressure's on them, as they've already piddled a 15.5 game lead down to 5 games. So Tanner, Bybee, level up. Bybee and Williams, let's try and get this Marlins sweep, and enjoy the game today. And thanks for listening from the home clubhouse of Manor Ballpark. Abraham Drinking signing off. Go Try.
Play ball!
If they don't win, it's a shame.